Most men think that freedom means doing whatever they want, whenever they want. Or more accurately, not doing what they don't want to do, even though that quiet success voice is telling them they should. Sleeping in, being lazy, eating like garbage, avoiding hard conversations, and deflecting responsibility for the state of their life. And then they wake up at 50 with no energy, no muscle, no edge, no confidence, and no clear direction. Here's the truth most men never learn: being undisciplined isn't freedom. Being undisciplined is a trap. It's a cage that keeps you locked on a path you already know you're better than. Lack of discipline turns you into the workhorse in everyone else's life, while you never become the thoroughbred in your own. The more undisciplined you are, the smaller your life gets. Here's the only way out of that cage. If you want financial freedom, time freedom, relationship freedom, and the freedom to choose the course of your life, you must walk the road of discipline. Now, that road is hard as hell, but that's the beauty of it. Because the more disciplined you become, the more freedom you earn. The book Discipline Equals Freedom by Jocko Willink is a punch in the gut reminder that the quality of your life only rises to the level of your discipline. And it's the reason this book has been on my shelf for years. I've read it 3 times. I've given it to every one of my kids. And as a wrestling coach, I used to give it to my team captains as a captain's gift, but I stopped over the years when I found out that absolutely none of them ever read it. Teenagers. I believe in this book, not because it's motivational fluff, but because it teaches a rule every leader, every father, and every man in his second 50 years needs to understand. Your actions decide your identity, your life, your future, long before your desires or intentions do. This book isn't about Navy SEALs, even though it was written by one, but it's filled with the mindset that has made the Navy SEALs one of the most dangerous groups of badass men on the planet. And you're lucky enough to look inside the mind of one of them and model that thinking if you read this book. This is a part of my Books to Raise Your Price Tag series, where we break down the books that force men to level up how they think, act, and live to raise their value. Jocko, he flips the script on what freedom actually means. Freedom isn't ease. Freedom isn't comfort. It isn't doing less. None of those things are freedom. They're voluntary captivity. Freedom is waking up with the energy and getting to work. Freedom is trusting yourself and then getting your jobs done. Freedom is knowing you're the man who produces results whether you feel like it or not. Discipline gives you options and opens the entire menu of life to you. You can have any item you want if you pay for it with a structured life and consistent action. Being able to create any life you want, that's freedom. But every skipped workout, every responsibility you put off, every time you blame someone else or something else, that's surrendering your freedom and binding yourself into servitude, one decision at a time. One of the strongest messages in this book is personal ownership. People who are free in life do not blame their age. They don't blame their job, they don't blame their genetics, their spouse, or their past. If your body is weak, that's on you. If you have a belly, that's on you. If your energy is low, that's on you. And if your life feels smaller than it should, that's on you too. And here's the great news most men miss. When you finally admit that it's all your fault, you can finally fix it. That mindset alone raises a man's price tag. And the only way to change your life course, to create something new, to become someone new, is through discipline. This book doesn't hype motivation, it kills it. Because motivation is unreliable, it's fragile, and it collapses the moment life gets uncomfortable. Discipline is everything motivation is not. It's repeatable, dependable, and strong enough to endure the long haul, not mattering how you feel about it. If you're going to get a better life, you don't need to feel ready. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need to be inspired. You need one default setting in your brain. You're the man who gets his shit done every day. Wake up, train, eat like an adult, handle your responsibilities, and then do the work again tomorrow. That's how real men are built, quietly, repeatedly, and without any drama. Here's the biggest mistake you'll ever make when trying to change your life: asking yourself if you want to do it. That's child behavior. Doing what needs to be done, whether you enjoy it or not, is how a man operates. Discipline equals freedom is poised and ready to pounce on your old self, chew it up, and spit you out as the man who can accomplish anything. Because the author knows, without discipline, you're not going to accomplish anything at all. This book didn't just shape how I train. It shaped how I coach, how I parent. It shaped how I carry myself as a man, how I get my daily shit done day after day, and it shaped how I lead. Giving this book to my kids wasn't about getting them tougher. It was about teaching them that their choices and actions matter. Giving it to my team captains wasn't about yelling louder. It was about showing them that leadership starts with self-discipline, not authority. This book reinforces something I've seen for decades. The strongest men, they're not the loudest, the biggest, or the cockiest. They're just the most consistent. This book also fits perfectly into the grow or die philosophy. There is no neutral, gentlemen. You're either disciplined and growing or undisciplined and slowly dying. And right now, you're walking one of those two paths. Discipline is how you flip your biology back into growth mode. It's how you earn confidence, how you build a second half of your life that you're proud of. Discipline isn't punishment. It's the only way to become more. Look, this book is for you if you're tired of being let down by your fragile motivation, or you're starting to feel how your lack of daily structure is just blurring your days and weeks together, or if you're ready to step up and be the man that you know is inside you. But this book is not for you if you want to keep small comforts instead of big results, or if you just want the validation for existence instead of feeling the pride of succeeding, or if you want to build someone else's freedom by sacrificing your own. Don't get it. The best part about this book is how it's written. Every concept is covered in 1 to 3 pages, like little chapters. Don't read it all at once. Read a section in the morning and then let it sit in your head all day. Apply it through action. That might mean an earlier alarm, a harder workout, cleaner food choices, or more focused work with fewer excuses. Gentlemen, Discipline Equals Freedom is not a feel-good novel. It's a tool, so you have to use it for it to work. Discipline only exists when it's practiced, not thought about. Brother, freedom isn't something you find, it's something you earn, one disciplined action at a time. Most men underperform because they think the ease of their life means they're on the right path. Nothing could be further from the truth. After reading this book, you'll know better. You'll choose structure. You'll choose ownership. You'll choose the hard road. And if you're like me, you'll choose to read it again. And always remember, most men fade, but you're not most men.